Hello everyone, my name is Cchavi Vasisht and I'm faculty of Sociology at NICE IS and an educator at Unacademy. I'm also a guest faculty at Sri Vishwakarma Skill University where we teach public services courses and I'm a faculty of Sociology there as well. Today's topic is something we all are curious about, that how can we increase our marks and how can we score 300 plus in Sociology Option. So I've divided this class into 5 basic themes. What is your orientation towards your preparation? What is a few characteristics that you need to imbibe during this preparation? Why sociology optional? What are the books, which is most common question everyone asks, what are the books that we need to study? What content do we need to build upon? And how do we finally score 300 plus in sociology? And that involves 3 main things, that is your notes making, how do we have to prepare our own notes, your revision, and your answer writing practice. So in this context, before I start telling you that what your orientation should be towards your preparation, there's a very important thing which I want you all to reflect on, to think about before you start your preparation. Even if you have just started your preparation or you're giving your attempt in 2021, what you need to think once before you start your preparation again after this class or whenever you listen to this lecture is that why UPSC? What attracts you to this civil services, and what drives you to this preparation? We often think that it is job security, your status, your money. All these things attract us towards UPSC, right? But beyond this, it is our self-fulfillment. Every day you go to the field, you do something, you're doing it for the nation, you're doing it for the society, and you're doing it for your self-fulfillment. The needs like your social status, your education, your job, your money, all these are secondary needs which would eventually fade away. But your idea of self-fulfillment is something which will drive you to this, field, this job. Another very important thing is the diversity which this civil services gives you. And what is this diversity? This is the job diversity. Someone who is in defense can go and work under Ministry of Educational Affairs or Health Affairs, or somebody in the Ministry of External Affairs. The diversity of the job itself keeps you motivated, keeps you running. For example, this Joint Secretary, Love Agrawal, was the face of India's COVID fight, right? He was the one who was leading the nation during the first wave of COVID-19. And before that, he was in the Ministry of Youth Affairs. So you see the diversity from shifting to Youth Affairs to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, being the face of COVID-19. The diverse areas where you are able to explore and work with. So, do this honest review of yourself before you sit for your preparations again, or before you go to your table and chair again and start your studies. Do this honest review. Write it for yourself that why you want to do the civil services, why you want to prepare for civil services, right? So let's just get started with the class. This is something, personally, I wanted you to all look into it again, because we often go into that pressure of job, money, status, parents, these all things drive us, but these are all secondary. This should be about you, yourself. What is your orientation towards your preparation? How you need to look at civil services and this whole process. Just few days back, one of my students called me up and told me that, ma'am, I'm thinking I'll just give the prelims this time. Since it is delayed, I will get the chance to, prepare it well, and I'll give the prelims, and after that I'll see for the mains. Otherwise, he was preparing for 2022. I told him this thing. There is no point giving your prelims if you have to ultimately fail at your mains. You know that you don't want to stop at prelims. You don't want to stop at mains. Your final destination is that list. Your final destination is that you want to see your roll number and your name in that final list. So why not have this integrated approach where you're looking at your interview, you're looking at your mains, and you're looking at your prelims. Why not take this comprehensive approach rather than taking just one thing at a time, or one prelims at a time? This is a kind of a cycle. And this might be a harsh reality, or this is a harsh reality, that once you enter into this cycle, you only have the scope of revising things. You don't really get the scope of improving things because it's a process. You give your prelims, you have 3 months for mains. If you fail at mains, you get to know after 2 months, and then the next prelims is just ahead 3 months. So you don't really get time to improve or build your material. So the first thing is that you build your material, you build yourself for your interview, you bring that behavioral changes, which is the next slide, which I'm going to talk about, that what are the basic characteristics that you need to imbibe for this preparation. You prepare yourself for mains, and then you prepare yourself for prelims. And trust me, once you're done with your mains, you no more need to worry about your prelims or interview. Mains is a comprehensive preparation. And that brings me to the second point, that how we need to approach this examination. You have to approach this examination in a very comprehensive way. You have to interlink all these subjects. You have to understand that if you're studying history, there is a link of it to your present polity, your present political system. If you are reading history, you have the relation between sociology. There's a very famous statement, and you all must have heard it because it has also come in your last year papers, that your history is present sociology. And, your history is past sociology, and your present sociology, your present time, is your past history, which will become history. So this is a statement by G.E. Howard, who links the relationship between history and sociology. So you have to adopt this comprehensive approach where you're linking the subjects and learning them. You don't have to do them in isolation. You don't have to prepare them in isolation. Now, how will you reach your final destination? I've told you have to take a very integrated approach. You have to adopt all your interview, mains, prelims. You have to adopt an integrated approach. You have to take a comprehensive approach where you're interlinking the subjects. But how would you reach the final destination? You would reach the final destination, for example, when you're going somewhere. There is a point A to point B. And you use Google Maps. These days, it is the most common way. You don't ask people, okay, I have to reach that destination. Could you please help? These days, everyone uses Google Maps. And you reach your final destination. It helps you give a direction, an approach to reach your final destination. Your syllabus and your last year papers are the same. This will provide you the direction. This will act as coordinates to help you reach your final destination. So the first and foremost thing that you do today is take a printout of your syllabus. And if you cannot go out, you don't have the amenities because of COVID-19, you just write it down. But this is the imperative thing. This is the most important thing, that wherever you are studying, on your table and chair, you write that syllabus and stick it in front of you. Now, this is not just for your sociology syllabus. You can do this for your GS syllabus as well. You must know every term that is being used in the syllabus, and that will give you a direction that how much you have to prepare and what all you can leave aside. So syllabus and last year papers are a way or a direction which will help you reach your final destination. Trust me, nothing, if you're not seeing your last year papers, you're actually doing a directionless study. Most commonly we use this as one of the significance of hypothesis. And it is said that if you don't have a hypothesis before your research, when we do research topic, if you don't have your hypothesis first in hand, you are doing a directionless research. Similarly, if you don't have your last year papers and you have not learned your syllabus, or you don't have your syllabus in front of you, you are doing a directionless preparation. So make it a point that you are reading your syllabus first, you have learned your syllabus first, and you are going through the last year papers every time. You should know that once you're reading a topic, your last year paper, okay, this was asked in 2018, or this was asked in 2017 prelims. You must know what has been asked previously, because these themes get repeated again and again. Now, adopting this integrated approach, adopting this comprehensive approach, going through your syllabus again and again, going through the last year papers, and this last year papers, I'm telling you to at least go back to 2000, like at least 20 years paper behind you. Now, you know that in 2013, 2008, syllabus was changed, so you can leave out that part, but see what are the themes that are being asked continuously. So on the basis of that, you know that this process or journey is not a 1 day, 1 week, 1 month journey. You need a lot of perseverance in this preparation. It is the key. You need to have a lot of patience to get up every day, to work every day, to study every day, and to improve yourself every day for this preparation. Don't go with the understanding that, okay, I'll just start my prelims preparation 2 months ahead, and before that, you can just skip a weekend, go out, or, you can go for dinners. Limit yourself. Limit your everyday experience or exposure to other things and contribute to your studies. Now, this is a very interesting image to just tell you that if you devote 1% of yourself every day for 365 days, it would just add to you being a 1% of yourself. But just add 0.1%, just improve 0.1% every day, and you see a manifold increase. So it is a classic example to tell you that when you do nothing, or it is just zero or meager, it does not contribute to anything. But just a slightest, one small consistent effort, just doing a little bit every day. Track yourself every day. And this is often I tell you in the class also, that don't be disheartened. Make your small targets and try to achieve that targets every day. You have your syllabus, you have your last year papers, you have the direction, you have teachers, you have coachings. They will give you, they'll help you direct your preparations. Make your small targets. Today I have to complete this target. One for GS, one for social, one for current affairs, one for, your newspapers. Every day, divide your whole day into 3, 4 hours. Make small targets and try to achieve them. You will have a sense of achievement, a sense of fulfillment that I told you that you'll also get in your UPSC job. But similarly, you will also get a sense of fulfillment every day, and you'll be motivated to further prepare yourself. So train yourself every day, do little bit of efforts every day, and you will clear the exam. Trust yourself, trust this journey, trust your God, have faith in whatever you have, but keep giving your 1% extra every day. Keep giving your 1% improvement every day. So your perseverance, your consistent efforts is the key. And this is very much related to the next point that I want to tell you, that don't come under peer pressure. We often have the tendency of comparing our preparations to the other person. How is this person doing? Or how is this person completing his current affairs? Or how is she doing her sociology option, for that matter? Don't do that. We are here to clear the exam. You have to do it for yourself. You have to improve from your previous self every day. Not from anybody else, but your previous self. How you can improve your previous selves on an everyday term is the key. Don't come under peer pressure. Take it in a sense of patience. Take it in a sense of perseverance. Every day, improve yourself from your previous self and leave the others. Don't come into the pressure of others. So this is a basic orientation towards the preparation. Not a direct, but an indirect support to achieve 300 plus, and not just 300 plus in sociology, but also to your overall preparation of prelims, mains, and your interview. My next topic is your few basic characteristics which you need to imbibe. The first and foremost is your curiosity to learn. For example, there is something in the newspaper and you don't know its term, you don't understand this meaning. We often have a tendency that we are flipping the newspaper and there's some economic term, some economic concept or a political concept, or there is some article written in the newspaper. We often tend to think that, okay, this we'll do it later, and you continue reading. Don't do this. If you come across something new, at the same moment, open your book or just Google it. These days, the Google is so handy. Just Google it and see that what you can add to your learning, what you can add to your knowledge. So the idea is that you observe very keenly and you have a curiosity to learn. And that will help you build up your knowledge. That will help you build up your everyday knowledge. The second very, very important characteristic is that you understand that we live in a society where there is multiple realities, right? There's not just one single reality. We study these diverse perspectives. But I will give you this one suggestion, and this will really help you a lot in your interview, is that don't just study it. Don't just observe reality. For example, if caste system prevails, if the casteism or untouchability prevails, you must have the capability to understand it, and you must have the capability to accept it. The moment you accept it, you are going to make a change to it. We often say that when we accept our mistakes, we often tend to make a change in ourselves. And that is the key in your preparation also. So when you study these diverse perspectives, may it be caste system, may it be homosexuality, people say that, okay, you know about homosexuality, you have understood about it, but you don't accept it. So make it a point that whenever you are studying, you adopt this as a particular behavioral change in yourself, that the society exists of multiple realities, and your purpose is not just to study or observe these realities, but your purpose is to accept them. And when you accept them, you will be able to change them also. In your preparation also, if you accept your mistake, okay, yesterday I wasted a lot of time, today I'm going to make up for it. So until and unless you don't accept that you made a mistake, you did not study yesterday, you're not going to make an improvement to today, right? So accept it, your multiple diverse perspectives, accept your mistakes, and you'll be able to make a change to yourself. So this is a very important behavioral change, that you need to be positive, you need to be accepting, you need to be understanding that this needs to be changed. A third, a very, very, very important characteristic for you to imbibe is decision making. In your preparation, when you sit for your prelims, what is the first challenge that you face? You are given 4 options, and you have to decide which one is the correct one. If your answer is correct, good, you score. If your answer is wrong, you get into a negative marking. You should be very good at making your decisions. Your decision-making power should be very responsible, but quick also. You cannot sit back, you cannot do in prelims that, okay, I will take time to think about this question and give 5 minutes to it. You don't have to work with these strong or weak emotions. You have to work with a responsible emotion. You have to be very quick in your decision making and ensure that your decision making is a responsible one, not an irresponsible one. And the last very important point, see, you can add to these basic characteristics. This is something which I wanted to highlight, that we often tend to ignore or skip. And these are the things that I would like you to adopt from today itself, so that your preparation gets further enhanced. You are able to crack this exam if you're giving it in 2021, and if you're giving it in 2022, or any further exam if you're hearing to this lecture later. The last one is your solution-based approach. What do you mean by solution-based approach? You will be working under very much pressure conditions in this examination. So train your mind in such a way that you are able to function without any agitation. Sometimes you sit in the examination and you're like, oh God, I had studied this. This was something I read about monsoons. I read about this article. I read about this chapter on election commission. Why cannot I know? Don't work with agitation. Try to train your mind, try to function your mind in such a way that you are working towards your solutions. You have that solution-based approach and not agitation or frustration in your mindset. So work for the solution-based approach. Coming to the next topic, that is why sociology option. What is there that you need to understand about sociology? For example, you go to a restaurant, let me take that example again, and you take your starters, you take your main course, and you take your dessert. Your main course gets your maximum time, your maximum attention. Similarly, your GS and your sociology optional gets your maximum time and attention. Sociology optional is something which is a part of your everyday life, right? Right from the moment you take your birth, you are born in a certain caste. You're born as a certain gender, male or female, or the third gender. You're born in a certain class, you're born in a certain family, you're born in a certain kinship relation. Sociology takes you under its fold the moment you're born. So you as an individual are part of the society. Now, when you're part of the society, you are understanding that you're part of this phenomena. You're aware of this phenomena, that you have a certain class, you have a certain caste, you're a male or a female, you have a certain gender, you have a certain way of doing gender. Sociology purpose is to help you understand the why of that phenomenon. Why certain caste? Why the position of certain class that you are in? Why a gender plays a very important role in developing yourself, whether it's a male, female, or a third gender. So sociology, like your everyday life is sociology. Trust me. Your everyday life, from the moment you're born to the present time. So first and foremost, you know the phenomena. Sociology will help you understand why of the phenomena. Now, second point is you know the basics. You know how the society functions. You are aware of this phenomenon. Sociology is easy because now you just have to build upon that. You have to attach these theories, thinkers to your everyday knowledge, to your everyday life. If there is a particular way of socialization of a female child, you know what this socialization is. Whether you're a boy or a girl, you are socialized in a particular way. Or you're a third gender, you're treated in a particular way. Your emotions are submissive. So all these things, all these phenomena, you have to attach theories to it. You have to attach thinkers to it. So there's nothing new that you have to do, but you have to just build upon these basics. You have to build upon the common phenomena that you understand. You understand the why of it, and you try to understand and build upon that theories and thinkers. Third, and a very important point which often people ask. For example, I am associated to sociology since 2011. That is when I started my master's from Jawaharlal Nehru University, and I continued my education, pursuing my MPhil and my PhD. I have been very closely associated to sociology since 2011. That gave me an edge, I would not deny. It has helped me understand the diverse perspectives, and it helped me understand and learn sociology better. But if you don't have an academic background, that does not mean you cannot score. If you see the last 10 years of sociology rankers, you will see that their education background is not from the academic one. They're either IITs or engineers or other things. So take this optional as if you have an interest, because you understand that everyday phenomena, your everyday life is sociology, and you just have to build up on the theories and thinkers part. So even if you don't have the academic background, but you have the interest, you can score. You can get good marks. The next 2 points is something which is very common. Everyone states that, it will help you in your GS, GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 4. It is going to help you understand and write better answers. There, what difference you have to do is you do not have to include thinkers, but you can include the perspectives of the approach. This will help you writing a very diverse answer for your GS paper 1, paper 2, and GS paper 4 as well. Your morality, your ethics, for example, there was one question in 2016 mains, GS paper 4. What are the characteristics of bureaucracy from Weber's perspective? So sometimes you also get a bonanza and you get a direct question from your sociology options. That will help you in your GS as well as your essay. Every year you get one, that is imperative. It can be more than one topic related to sociology in your essay. So that is going to help you. And then it is a high scoring marks. Again, high scoring is not something, okay, you have taken the option, you'll score high, that is it. You have to work for it. You have to consistent efforts. Every day you have to add to your knowledge, you have to improve yourself, and that is how you're going to score high. And the syllabus is short, your everyday life is short, you understand it. So your syllabus is short, you can cover it. Now, books. This is a question which everyone struggles with. Students are like, ma'am, ye book padhna hai, ye nahi padhna hai. Can we read this one? This is by the topper. First, read your standard books. Have a basic clarity and define your sources. When I'll talk to you about how to score 300 plus, that is one of the very important points, is that you define your sources. You identify and define your sources. Don't run for material. Have certain books, specific books in your rack, 3 for paper 1, 3 to 4 for paper 2, and that's it. Your job is not to continue reading books. Your job is to read books to build up a conceptual clarity, to build up your understanding, and then for your examination, it is your final notes that is going to help you, not the books. Books are to build up your understanding. They will act as a foundation. So stick to 3 to 4 books. Don't run for books. Jo market mein aa raha hai, don't read that book, that is not required. Have certain standard books and read them. Let's see for paper 1, it is your sociological themes and perspectives, Harlambos and Harborne. This is a very essential book. You will get most of your paper 1 material from here. Now, don't go for the studies which are written in this book. You just have to understand, you don't go for the facts. Okay, this much was the percentage in Britain, it reduced, for example, family, you get reduced your family percentage to this. You don't have to go for that. What you need to do is understand and build a conceptual understanding of what is the syllabus of paper 1. Your second very interesting book is your social research. This is by Soterio Santos, but this book has to be done very selectively. Trust me, this is the book I do refer to, and when I teach you in the class, I do add the points which are relevant there. Don't read this book completely. The first 100 pages are enough, and then you have to do very selectively. But if you have done the class, you can believe me on that I have covered that portion very well. Next is your Sociology by Anthony Giddens. Now, this is a very interesting book. Why? Because your latest developments, for example, it has a chapter on nation and terrorism. It has a chapter on media. It has a chapter on education. This gives you the diverse, it gives you a multiple perspectives on how you can, build up the understanding of current developments and get a theoretical base, a sociological theoretical base for the same. For paper 2, if you are the starter, you're a beginner, you don't know what to do, read this book by Indian Society by S.C. Dubey. The first chapter itself, Unity and Diversity, it will help you in paper 1, your GS paper 1, which has a topic of unity and diversity. Then it goes on for gender relations, your Indian society, what are its characteristics, your urban-rural structure, your caste system, your family system. Very basic book, very easy to read, a small one, just 40 rupees, and you can finish that, twice or thrice before your examination. But please do read this book. Next is your IGNOU booklets. Here you have to do these booklets very selectively as per the syllabus. I always tell you in the class, do a search button, download all the things in your laptop or iPad, do a search button, and just do booklets which are relevant to your syllabus. You don't have to completely do word to word, page to page of IGNOU booklets. Only which are part of your syllabus, which are part of your, larger last year papers, whatever has been covered. Then your Modernization of Indian Tradition by Yogendra Singh, a very excellent book to give you a perspective to understanding of what is Indian tradition, how it is modernized. Then there's another book on social stratification by Dipankar Gupta. This is edited by Dipankar Gupta. And if you have time, this is another book which I read in my first year of masters, and a very interesting book is Mistaken Modernity by Dipankar Gupta. This is something, an additional one in case you want to read. But that was a book which really was an eye-opener for me. It was a very interesting book and a must-read. This would help you in your essay writing also and your sociology option also. It's Mistaken Modernity, if you want to know again. Mistaken Modernity by Dipankar Gupta, apart from the social stratification, which is the edited one. Then social movements in modern India. Again, you have a topic of social movements in modern India in your paper 2, your optional paper 2. This is a book by Ghanshyam Shah. And this would also help you in your history, GS paper 1, and somewhere in your essay. So social movements is something which we see in everyday life. You need to understand the genesis of all these movements, your peasant movement, your tribal movements, everything, women's movement, what is the genesis, what is the understanding. This is a very classic book. You can go through, read it, and have an understanding of it. Now a question which often students ask. मैम EPW करना है, योजना करना है, कुरुक्षेत्र करना है, पता नहीं, some people also bring up all these journals which are there specifically for sociology. I want you to put a caution here. You will only refer to EPW, Yojana, Kurukshetra or any other journal when you have made your own notes. Once you have finished making your notes, you will use these articles or material as supplementary material. This will be just to add a case study or just to add a current phenomena, a phenomena with a sociological perspective. So this a word of caution, please, this is a word of caution. This should be the last stage, not the initial stage. You only pick up these EPW, only pick up these journals once you have prepared your notes. This would only be like, for example, you have stick notes, right? You read an article from Yojana, you read an article from EPW, you make short notes of it. Until unless it is completely part of the syllabus, you find very much interesting, something very interesting, you write it in a whole page. Otherwise, you just write in short 4 to 5 points of that article and stick it on the notes which you have made. So every time you will read that, you will incorporate that thing in your mains examination also. Just reading the journals, articles is not sufficient, right? Your ultimate goal is to write in your mains. If you're not writing it or including in your mains, there's no point. It's better you don't read them, right? So please, it's a word of caution. Take this as a last stage thing. Don't start it now. Next is, if you have further, missed out something, you have gaps in your preparation, your last stage could be you can refer to your internet or any material by the toppers just to fill in the plugs, just to fill in the gaps, whichever is left, right? So for the thing we are here, how to score 300 plus in Sociology Option. So you have often seen that, 300 plus scoring is considered as top scores, right? When you see somebody winning a game, for example, Usain Bolt winning a 100 meters race in less than 10 seconds, you often see just these 10 seconds, less than 10 seconds he completes his sprint. But you don't see the hard work that he does every day on that. So scoring 300 plus in Sociology Option, the first and foremost thing that you need to do is have an honest check of yourself. Every day, your revision should be like you're polishing a diamond. Every time you write, every time you revise, it should get better. See yourself, train yourself to attain or reach the goal of 300 plus in Sociology Option. Trust me, and this should not just be your approach in your option subject, but also for your GS, also for your prelims, also everything that you're doing. Have an honest check of yourself. Keep checking your preparation, keep revising it, keep seeing that whether you're improving or not. If you're not improving and just going by every day, okay, you sit for 10 hours, read the same thing again, sleep, again get up, read for 10 hours, sleep. If you are not improving, this whole task, this whole training is a waste. This is the first thing that you have to check yourself. You have to train yourself. The second important thing is your syllabus and your last year papers. I have already told you the relevance of it, how you have to take them as a direction, how they will give you a direction to it. Your syllabus and the last year papers, they are going to give a direction to your preparation. The third important thing is identify and define your sources. Now, this brings me back to your books. Identify, define, and don't change. Don't go under the pressure where you are going to add every day a new source. Don't do that. Don't run for material. Don't run for quantity. Run for quality. You should have a cost-benefit analysis when you're picking a book, whether this is going to add to your preparation or not. And that will only happen when you have identified and defined your sources and you're not going to run for more material. The fourth very important point. Now, believe me or not, your notes is something for your GS or for your option, is something that is going to help you. You have to make a topic-wise notes for every topic which is written in your syllabus. And what would be the base? Your base would be your last year papers. You will see, for example, if Gandhi's movements are coming, you will see that this is something which is often asked in your mains, often asked in your prelims. This is a common question. For example, Durkheim and Marx comparison. You will see sometimes it is Weber and Durkheim comparison. Sometimes you will see Durkheim and Marx comparison. Sometimes you will see Karl Marx and Weber comparison. You know that there is a certain pattern which is there in these last year papers. Identify them. So every topic, every subtopic notes, and identifying your last year papers, you have to make your notes. I will give more elaborate details on how to make your notes, but making your notes is very much important, a key to getting your 300 plus score. Trust me, I had my notes and I scored. So, and I have seen students scoring. I have seen my students scoring 300 plus or students scoring good marks around me. So when you have your notes, it will give you the confidence. It will give you the motivation to continue doing it. Next important point to score a 300 plus is adopting a very conscious attempt to adopt sociological perspectives, the terms and terminologies, social structure, social processes, social groups. Whenever I ask in class, what is a tribe? Often people say that it is a group. Or when I ask family, often people say it is a group. No. Family, tribes, these are social groups. If we say that there is cooperation, you need to understand this is a social process. If we say there is a competition of resources, we say it is a social process. So identify these terms, these terminologies. And where will you get these terms and terminologies from? Again, close your eyes and trust me on this. It is your NCERT. Read your NCERTs again and again, and you will get all these terms and terminologies which you can use in your examination. For example, once there was a question that, in tribal society, there is a better sex ratio, right? This question is directly picked up from your NCERT. And there was another question in 2018 mains that, how sociology links history and biography. Again, this is something which is in the first page of your NCERT, class 11th NCERT, and this is something, a concept given by C.W. Mills of sociological imagination, how you interlink your history and biography. So read your NCERTs again and again. Consciously make it a point that you adopt sociological perspectives, you adopt sociological terms and terminologies. In this context, a subsequent point or a subsequent very important key point here is avoid GS approach. A question like Manrega, a question like tribal subplan, you don't have to write the points of tribal subplan. You don't have to write, okay, this scheme Manrega was launched in this, its purpose was this, objective was this. No. You have to see that how the scheme affected a particular social group, how it brought about a social process in the village system, in the rural system. Was it able to help in employment and increasing the status of the people? Did it improve their social life? Did it improve their social status? You have to see the overall social structural impact of it and social processes involved in it. Not GS that, okay, it achieved the target, it failed to achieve the target, government launched the scheme with this purpose. No. Your approach should be to use sociological terms, sociological perspectives to write an answer which is also of a GS topic. For example, I told you Manrega tribal subplan. Next, very important point, whenever I check copies, this is a major problem in maximum copies, that you just bombard the examiner or the evaluator with all the thinkers which are, there for that particular topic. No. Use your thinkers judicially. Only to substantiate, only to tell that, okay, this is a process or a concept given by somebody, but this is how it is related to your answer. 4 to 5 thinkers of each topic is more than enough. Don't unnecessarily involve multiple thinkers and just write this said this, this said this. Your intelligence is not shown by that. You don't have to be a, mouthpiece of a thinker or a scholar. Your intelligence is how you integrate that into an answer. A bare minimum 4 to 5 thinkers would be sufficient. Don't run for thinkers. Very important thing, 300 plus, can you get it without classes, without coaching? Yes, you can. But you need to understand that there are certain primary sources, your NCRT, your Harlem-Bose, Hornborn, your Anthony Giddens. Then there are certain secondary sources, your other books. And then there are certain tertiary sources, that is EPW and Yojana. Your classes will help you identify the sources. Your classes will help you streamline your preparation. You as a student, I understand the pressure of you all, that you have to prepare for GS, you have to prepare for CSAT. Please don't miss out on that. People fail because they are not able to, clear their CSAT. So give your equivalent time to that. But coming to the point what I was saying, that you're involved in your GS, you're involved in your CSAT, you're involved in your optional, you're involved in your interview preparation, you're involved in multiple things. You have to prepare multiple subjects. We as teachers sitting here are involved in one process, and that is to give you the cream of the literature available from the multiple sources relevant for your syllabus in the class. So classes relevance lies here. It will, when you pull out water from a well, when you do it manually, you have to pull in more efforts, right? But if you have a pulley, it will reduce your efforts. It will be done quickly. It will multiply your efforts. Similarly, on the classes. Single-handedly, you can do it. It is a process. It is nothing that you cannot do it. But teachers' efforts, just multiply your efforts and give a push to your direction. It acts as a pulley. A very important and key concept in scoring your 300 plus, and that this is the last point because after that we'll be discussing how to make your notes, is your language. Don't use Harlem-Bose Hornborn language. Don't use Anthony Giddens language. These are your standard textbooks to clear your understanding. You have to sell your answer to the examiner. You have to make sure that your examiner reads your answer. It should be legible. It should be with simple words, simple terminologies. Don't go for hyphen terminologies. Don't go for more synonyms, etonyms. Avoid that thing. Simple language. And for this, again, you can, rely on your NCRTs and your IGNOU booklets. Simple, lucid language, which is understandable to the examiner. You have to just make sure that your examiner reads your answer, right? So this is the key points, the key areas where you can work on. You all must be working very hard for your optional, but these points would give a push to your preparation. That is for sure. You please apply them, try them for yourselves, and you will see a difference. These points are going to really help you score 300 plus. Often students are stuck in 250 bracket. Often students are stuck in 230 bracket or 270 bracket. This will give you the push, right? So start working on each of these points from today. Now, the most important point, notes making. People say that we can, these are the notes by the toppers. I can directly start reading these notes and I don't have to make my notes. It is your notes that is going to help you sail through. It is one of the key points or key agendas, key ways to reach your destination. And these note-making process has to be done in 2 ways. First are your detailed notes. And trust me, this should preferably be a handwritten note. In the exam, you're not going to get your laptops. You're not going to get your keypads, right? You have to write, ultimately write. So let your hand learn. Let your eyes learn. Let your mind learn. Let yourself be trained in a way that you are writing your notes and the same way you are going to write your answers. So detailed notes are a key, and these detailed notes should preferably be handwritten notes. Mark my words, handwritten notes would certainly give you a lot of confidence. You know how much points you can add in a particular page, what is the length of your answer, whether some things can be reduced, some things can be added, a topic which you have to work more upon. What is there in your PDFs? You really don't know how much space would it cover. You have a word limitation, you have a time limitation. It will help you manage that. So preferably handwritten. The ultimate exam, you have to write it by your own hands, not through the computers. Yet not we have reached a stage that mains examination are done on digital mode. So preferably go for handwritten notes. Again, syllabus is your key. You have to make topic-wise notes of each of your topic. As I told you before, 300 plus score. Every topic, every subtopic should be covered. Your last year papers would act as a foundation. You have to keep them in front of you. You have to cover every topic. 24/7, your syllabus should be in front of you. You should know which topic is covered, which is left, what further you can do, what further can be added. Now, these detailed notes should not be a copy-paste from your books. These detailed notes should be made on the basis of your understanding and analysis. When you read something from a book, read it 2 or 3 times. Underline or highlight the key points that you can write in your answer, because everything cannot be written, right? For example, a family topic from Handlum Post. You cannot write all the studies from there. So you have to pick up the lines that you have to write. For example, when you are talking about George Peter Murdoch, you have to pick up the 4 functions that he talks about family. So selectively choose, underline, mark these points. After 2-3 readings, you will understand and analyze. And then you make your notes. So your detailed notes should be a part of your broader understanding and analyzing, and then you start writing, right? Now, whenever you read your sociology books, you would understand that you often don't find diagrams, flow charts, maps in your sociology textbooks. So I would tell you that be very careful when you're making your diagrams, flow charts, maps, and use them only when necessary. Don't randomly add a flow chart when it is not required. Don't randomly add a diagram when it is not required. Don't randomly add a map when it is not required. For example, a question on geographical spread of tribals in India. Your idea is not just to show on map that where a tribal group exists, but your idea is to tell the characteristics of the tribal group. If they are in the north, they are doing hunting, they are doing gathering, because the area is huge, the density is low, and they get large area to do their, hunting, gathering, and shifting cultivation. But in the south, the tribal groups are surrounded by sea. There, the predominant activity they are involved in is fishing. So you have to explain that as well, not just a map and just to show, okay, this tribe is here, this tribe is here, this tribe is here. No. Your purpose of your maps, diagrams, and flowchart is to give an addition to your answer, but at least understand and analyze your answers first. Now, when you have made your notes, a very important point is to help your mind learn, help your eyes learn. I often tell my students is that your prelims and your mains, your mind should remember, okay, this is from my book, this is the polity chapter, your article is written here, this is from my sociology option, my first page of my notes. Use highlighters and different pens. Your answer writing should, or notes making should be in such a way that it leaves a mark, it leaves an impression in your mind that, okay, this is an important point or a keyword that I have to learn. And often I tell all my students while making their notes is like, leave a right column or leave a space in the right column, and there only your keywords or a fact should be there that you have to definitely include in your answer, and that should have a memory in your mind. You should train your mind in a certain way that it leaves a mark or an impression in your mind. You will never go wrong in writing your answers. Right. The second set of notes, and this is which is going to give you your confidence, and this is going to help you, nail the examination in your mains, is that if before your exam you are able to revise your full syllabus. And this would only happen when you have made your final revision notes, not your detailed notes. And these final revision notes cannot be more than 100 pages. Minimize it to 50. But you will realize that the day before your mains, you get a 1 week time to write your optional exam. Earlier, you used to get just 1 day. So before you write your mains, if you're able to read or revise your whole syllabus, believe me, the confidence you get, you're going to nail every question that comes. So Make these brief notes less than 50 pages preferably, but you can reach to 80 to 100 and slowly you can reduce them further. But your final revision notes should be different from your detailed notes. Here only your thinker, important concept, relevant facts should be included, right? Revision, a very important point to succeed in this examination, that you have to reach a stage where you read anything in newspaper or a magazine or anywhere you read anything, you are able to explain and relate it to sociology. You have to reach that stage. So before every every thing you're starting in a day, every new topic, revise what you have done yesterday. Every revision should involve your last year papers, your syllabus, and everything you have done the previous day. Don't just make notes, pile them up, but revise them every day. And before exam, ensure that you have at least 10 to 12 revisions. And I'm not joking on this. Your final notes are there. You will revise them again and again. And your detailed notes, at least 10 to 12 revisions of that notes. The last and final point, the final way you're going to write your mains examination, your answer writing. I would never suggest a student to just start, writing a test series if you're writing 2021 mains or you're writing 2022 mains. First, complete your syllabus in entirety. We have often discussed this in class, that you have to finish your syllabus by September if you're giving it for 2022, or if you're giving it for 2021, finish your syllabus by August or July end, and revise it at least 5 to 6 times. Your notes should be there. And before you give any test series or before you join any test series, solve last year papers and see the difference. आप एक paper solve करोगे and your confidence level would be very high. You know how the pattern of examination is. So solve last year papers and give your test series, join your test series as if this is your final attempt. This is your final mains. Don't just join a test series and after giving a test say that अच्छा ये topic तो मैं बाद में revise कर लूँगा, ये तो मेरे notes में था, I would have done better, ये मैं final exam में better कर लूँगा. No. Your test series should be your final mains. That will help you improve your final marks in the examination. And this is something which I often see in the Telegram channel, and students often asking each other that let's write answers every day. That is not a judicious approach. That is not, it is a wastage of time. You every day sit with a cup of coffee or tea, your pen, paper, write 2 answers and done. Are you going to do this in your final examination? No. Your final examination is of 3 hours. Trust me, when you're done with your first hour, your hand will start paining. So from today to the stage where you have done your notes, you have revised 5 to 6 times and you have joined a test series, don't write your answers every day. Do it once a week, but do it as if you're writing your final mains. Sit for 3 hours in one position, go to the washroom once, have your water bottle in front of you, have your tea, coffee in front of you, and sit and write for 3 hours. This will train you. This will train your mind. This will give you the practice. This is the formal way of doing answer writing. Last few important points that you have to take into consideration while practicing your answers. First and foremost, please don't write long paragraphs. Your answers should be legible. As I told you before, you have to sell your answer. Long paragraphs are boring, tedious to read, and they are not at all, an examiner cannot understand. You lose the track of what you're saying. So make short notes. And there is not just one way of writing this answer that is making me come to the second point, is that no paragraph, no points. ऐसा नहीं करना कि सिर्फ points या सिर्फ paragraph. You have to make a quite harmony of both paragraphs and points. There's no one way of writing it. Everyone will evolve and innovate their own way, but adopt both things. Don't go just for long paragraphs or just point. That is also very tedious or a monotonous way of writing. Very, very important thing, time management. Why I'm telling you to write for 3 hours is this. Don't be emotionally attached to your question paper. You have to rationally distribute your time. Sometimes, we get a question and we're like, oh, this is directly from my notes and directly from what I had prepared. I will write this answer very nicely. And you give your 20 minutes to that. What will happen? This is not a rational approach. Your final marks is a sum total of all the answers, not just one answer. No matter how well you write, they will not give you marks beyond 12, right? So divide your time. 12 minutes, 12 to 13 minutes for a 20 marker, 7 to 8 minutes for 10 marker. Don't be emotionally attached, be very rational. Sometimes you have a better answer and you don't know a particular question. There you can adjust a little bit, 1 or 2 minutes, but not beyond that, not 5 to 6 minutes. Giving examples now. Time management, you have understood, it's a very important thing. It's a very key important thing that don't have to be emotionally attached. You have to rationally distribute your time. The fourth important point for your answer writing is give examples. If you are writing that COVID-19 impacts women, or it is women who bears the household burden, example. My dear students, you have to give examples. You have to tell the students that, you have to tell the examiner that, okay, if you're saying that, women work more in the household, you have to give an example. For example, you can use time use surveys by National Statistical Commission, that women contribute 279 minutes of the day, whereas men contribute 97 minutes of the day. This is the example. This is a substantiation. So substantiate what you are writing. Give examples. Substantiate. Very important. Otherwise, these are just layman statements, commonsensical statements, not the answer. If you want to score good, for every answer you write or every notes you write, please in the side column, write a fact, example, theory related to it. Fifth point, choose your options very carefully. And for example, if you are, your pattern is to write the answers which you know before and then you write the answers which you don't know. If you're following this pattern, follow this pattern in the mains examination. So that is the purpose, or that is the training you have to give to your mind when you're doing your answer writing every week, once a week for 3 hours. Train your mind in this way that you will do your answers, the first ones, the ones you know first, and then you followed up with the ones you don't know or you're not sure of. But if you have followed a pattern where you're starting with the first question, irrespective of you know it or not, then follow the same pattern in your mains examination. Train your mind in such a way that you are going to write in the similar pattern for your mains examination. Agar first se shuru kar rahe ho, start from the first one. But if you're writing the answers which you know before, then start from there in the mains examination also. Please have a pencil, tick mark what you have done, and then you can, continuously see what you have attempted and what is left behind. And that brings me to the last point, the most important point. Please complete your paper. Don't be emotional about one question. Again, I told you that you are busy writing for 20 minutes, one answer, 20 marker, and your 110 marker is left. Don't do that. Finish your paper, complete your paper. Your time management should be in such a way that you don't leave out any answer. Every single question you attempt will help you achieve a better score. So this is the last point that I wanted you to understand. Completing your paper is very essential, very important, right? So I really hope that you have understood that how to score 300 plus in sociology, and that is what my agenda was for this lecture. And Unacademy, at Unacademy platform, we are coming up with a new crash course on sociology. It's a optional mains test series, specifically oriented towards 2021 mains. And this is being taken by Praveen Kishore sir and me. And the tests are starting from tomorrow, 6th June is the first test. You can get more details on Unacademy platform. And you can use the code NICEIS and you can subscribe to it. And if you have, again, let me just tell you to hold your horses. If you have finished your syllabus, if you have made your notes, if you have revised, then give your test. Otherwise, please hold. Give yourself 1 more month time and then you can write your test. Don't rush into writing a test series because you have to sit for examination. Write your test series if you have prepared yourself, if you have made your notes, revised your syllabus, and attempt it as if this is your final attempt, right? Your final mains examination. And lastly, believe in yourself, trust your God, whomsoever you believe in, and keep working every day. Coming back to the first point where I've told you, perseverance is the key. Every small, consistent effort every day would help you achieve or improve yourself from the previous day, right? And then you will have your name and your roll number in the final list. All the best. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.